What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls Pregame. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck, joined by my guys, Big Dave, Bam, BAWL Sports, Will the Go Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb. Back in studio.
Yes.
First time in a while.
Impressive.
Hey, buddy.
And wore the gray hoodie on top of that.
Oh,
I did it for you, Matt.
Oh, look at him.
Flawless.
Svelte.
And our pal producer on the controls, Mr. Joey Spathis, who's sweating right now because his Longhorns are playing their first round game. How you holding up, Joe? You doing okay? Oh, you're just going to do a little set design? A little set redecoration?
Move it this way a little bit, Joe. Trying to give Goat more, leverage here.
I noticed that. Often. I did that because I noticed that Will's feet are hanging on by.
That's why I said move it this way a little bit. You know what I mean?
I know, but it's uncomfortable for me to have to, shimmy around on the ground.
Oh.
But I will do it for the goat's comfort.
Oh.
Just
did it for
so
you.
Nice.
Look at him, and he's coming back.
Dude covers so many bases.
Look at that. Joey does it all.
I didn't ask for this.
How about Will? You just get some longer legs. So they can
wish. Part of it is that I need to make the title.
Yeah.
I don't think I can slouch any further.
There we go. It's tall.
Joe, how are you doing? It looks like your Longhorns are up 22-11 right now.
They are doing well. Sorry about the whole table thing. I mean, we're all over the place.
We're all adults.
But,
we're all just working on each other and ourselves constantly.
Yeah, we locked in Herb Lawrence of our wonderful CHGO White Sox crew. Who was razzing me a bit because Texas was down 8-2. I think Colorado State scored 3 points in the next 12 minutes. So it's it's fine, but we keep fighting, Matt. Things are never safe in this tournament. I remember you guys congratulating me last year.
Yes.
In the Elite Eights because Texas was winning by 8 or something.
Yes.
And they went on to lose. So,
Oh, yeah.
Fight to the final whistle.
If it's a tourney, you never celebrate prematurely.
No, you don't. It's not what you do.
You do not. Who are you guys rooting for?
Illinois.
These couple weeks.
I'm Illinois.
He's rocking ILL.
Yeah.
I know you and our pal Cody also very happy with Illinois' victory earlier today in their first round matchup.
They were in trouble, it looked like, for a little bit.
Beat Morehead State. And they're going to get maybe a bit of a softer matchup because Duquesne upset BYU, right?
S is silent.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Duquesne.
That's right. Don't sleep like that S.
Don't sleep on Duquesne.
It's pronounced Duquesne, actually.
Yeah, I heard a triple-double was had. I didn't see the game.
Okay, you want to hear something crazy? I saw this crazy stat.
Like
I think it was from the CBS Sports Twitter account. So, yeah, that dude, what's his name, Joe? That Illini guy,
Marcus Damask.
Yeah. So he had the first tourney triple-double today since Ja did it in 2019.
Yeah.
The last person to do it since Ja did it was Draymond all the way back in 2012. There have been 3 March Madness triple-doubles in the last 12 years.
Wow.
Wild.
That's a hell of a stat right there, man. Wow, impressive. Shout out Illinois for getting that. Hopefully they get past the Sweet 16 because that's usually what they do. They get to the Sweet 16 and then that's it. Hopefully they're good enough. They're a number 3 seed now. They're good enough to go pretty far.
They are.
We'll see.
All I know is I'm putting a hefty bag of money on
Duquesne.
No, a Grambling State, right? That's a 16 that Purdue has tomorrow.
Yes.
Purdue's favored 26.5, and they are choke artists of the just absolute best variety.
Shout out, bro.
I am a big
the game
fan.
between Georgia Southern and
I'm
Grambling.
flirting with maybe throwing some money on just like the money line for Purdue to lose tomorrow as a 1 seed.
I was waiting to see if you get that one.
I caught that.
What did Will say?
No, he just dropped a nice, cool reference right there, and I'm pretty proud of him on that one, man. Well done. I
got you.
Go be sneaking
I
them in.
came prepared.
Go be sneaking them in, man. Be sneaking them in, dog.
Very, very sneaky.
My
sneaky.
research, and this game tips off in 11 minutes, which is why I bring it up, but I love McNeese versus Gonzaga today.
Really?
McNeese.
Watch out for
the upset?
Watch out for McNeese today. The models love him. All right.
Who they playing?
Gonzaga.
Okay. All right. You heard it from
the models love him.
From Joey over there.
That's right. McNeese. I'll be back on the post-game show.
We actually have NBA hoops to watch tonight. Bulls Rockets, second time and last time they'll face each other this season.
Yes.
Unless I suppose the Bulls and Rockets make their way out of play-in tournaments and
say this without
meet each other in the finals.
Say it without laughing.
I can't say it without laughing. That's hilarious. The Rockets are streaking, though.
Yeah.
I think people thought their season was dead in the water maybe a month ago, and that they were just going to, play out the final notes. But they have won 6 straight coming into tonight's game against the Bulls.
Wow.
And are now, I believe, just 3 games back of the 10th seed in the West.
Wow.
Maybe still fighting for that play-in appearance.
And I believe they owe their pick to the Thunder, top 4 protected.
I think you're right.
They're not going away.
Right.
It's not like they're
because it
just going
doesn't
to
really
tank down.
benefit them in any way to be like, oh, well, we'll just fold.
Exactly.
Because you're probably not getting
And they
top
brought
4.
in Ime Udoka. They brought in Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. Like, that's not what they want it to be anymore. They did that for a couple of years. I think they're tired of it, and they wanted to establish a better culture. And that part of that is playing down the stretch and winning games, even if they're not necessarily in the running, even though they still are.
And Jalen Green has been just ridiculous. I'm sure we'll get into it, man.
We'll talk about it. Mike in the comments said he's not trying to get embarrassed by Jalen Green tonight. Bulls need to be on their A game. Jalen Green has been balling out. And it's, he's been picking up a lot of the slack of Sengun leaving with that sprained ankle.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I was reading, Kevin O'Connor had a great piece on these Rockets that he posted yesterday, I think, about how the Rockets have sort of reinvented themselves offensively in a few different ways. Once Sengun went down with that injury, and Jalen Green and the rookie Amen Thompson being 2 big beneficiaries of it, because there's a lot more spacing, and those guys can use their athleticism in other ways that they weren't. They're getting involved in more screening actions than they were back when Sengun was kind of the point person for that offense. And the Bulls have had trouble with this, whatever the collection of young, scrappy guys on this Rockets squad have been for the last few years, when they've been like 17, 19, 22 win teams.
Yeah.
The Bulls did get a W against them earlier this season, back in January, the first time they faced off. But if you recall, that one went to overtime.
It did.
Well, like half the Bulls games do this season.
Yes.
And it was, I don't know how much we can be able to glean from that game, because Zach LaVine had one of the best games of his season, unquestionably, and one of the better games of his career. And he is, of course, now out. Patrick Williams played nearly 30 minutes in that game and is now out. Sengun had a big game for the Rockets that night. Also, Whitmore, who is also, like Sengun, out for tonight's action with an injury, he had a big game for them off the bench. I think he dropped like 16 and 6. So I think you could basically just toss away that Bulls OT win over the Rockets back in January, because so many variables coming into tonight are completely different.
Yeah, it's so weird. But one thing that hasn't changed, though, is it's always a tough game when they play the Rockets over the years, as you mentioned. So no matter who's there, it's going to be a struggle, and the Bulls usually come out on the wrong side of it. So them getting a victory is actually pretty big. I know Zach went off and things like that, but that still was a big thing, man, because they truly, truly struggle against this team. But Ime Udoka, incredible coach. We already know this. But just having guys like VanVleet and Dylan Brooks there to kind of stabilize things for those young guys while those guys figured out their games. And now it seems like they're getting to that point where they're figuring it out. Like Sengun definitely had gotten to that point. But now Jalen Green's catching up, which is even terrifying, because he is much more athletic and much more explosive than anybody they pretty much got on their squad, man. So the fact he's getting there to that level, and they're healthy too, because they dealt with a lot of injuries as well, being a young squad. But the fact that they're getting to that level of where teams are like, oh, crap, like that does not bode well for the Bulls, because they struggle against young, athletic teams with length, man. They always have.
And that's exactly what these Rockets are at this point. I mean, as great as Sengun has been, and Joey knows I love him, I mean, they're clearly playing, not to say they're playing better without him or they're better without him, but like there's an element to the amount of space that they have, the pace that they can play with, not letting the ball stick as much with one guy. Like, that has value.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing to Zach LaVine. Obviously, like, Zach is a very talented player, and I don't want to say the Bulls are better without him, but they have tapped into a different style of play that has also been successful. And so you really can't take any of these teams for granted. I think obviously the Bulls are not in a position to do that regardless. But this Houston team is going to be really challenging, and I think the way that they can put pressure on the rim and get downhill, and with this extra space now, with a bunch of guys that can create their own shot, that's just a really tough task to defend that.
It's tough, man.
Let's take a quick break, shout out a couple of sponsors, then we'll come back and dive more into tonight's Bulls-Rockets matchup, including some starting lineups that just dropped. Interesting. what Billy's doing tonight. Stay tuned for that. While we are sharing these words from our friends and sponsors, you know what to do, Bulls Nation. Hit that like button if you're hanging out with us on YouTube. We appreciate it. Helps us out a lot. And make sure you also, if you aren't already, subscribe to that CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Yes. 52,400 and growing. When did we get to 52.4, man?
Oh, my God.
Awesome.
We're going to lose it.
I feel like the Bears having the number one pick in a month might have something to do with that.
Just a little bit.
Thanks, Bears fans.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, man. The hype around his pro day was insane.
Shout out to CHGO Bears being the top 50 sports podcast.
Number 43 sports podcast among all sports podcasts.
Amazing
this week.
Insane.
Amazing, man.
Also, like one of their videos of Caleb at his pro day the other day got posted by SportsCenter.
Yes.
On SportsCenter's Instagram account.
Yes. How about the fact they were on Get Up?
Yep.
They had them on Get Up when they had Cole Kmet on. Come on, man.
CHGO Bears, man, taking over. They were up at
subscribe, y'all.
Up at the Circa in Waukegan earlier today, doing a show from there.
Doing it there.
Speaking of which,
flex.
Shout out to our friends at Circa Sportsbook. Segue. Circa Sportsbook, always offering that tight money line split and use their low hold model. Striving always to have the starting out odds of any bet, be it point total over-unders, game spreads, player props, at minus 110. Unlike a lot of other sportsbooks these days who will have those starting odds at minus 115 or minus 120 for no gosh darn good reason at all. Circa also keeps as little money as possible on those large market bets. For example, por ejemplo, NBA futures bets, NBA season awards bets, NBA playoffs. If you feel like you know what's going to go down in the NBA playoffs coming up in a month, the best place to get the best value on those kind of bets is at Circa. If you feel like Kobe is going to win Most Improved Player this year, if you feel like DeMar is going to win Clutch Player of the Year this year, the best place to make those bets is at Circa. They encourage bettors to, of course, download and try out their Circa Sports Illinois app, but also on top of that, download and try any sports betting app that's out there these days that you're curious about. They know you have plenty of options when it comes to sports betting. They're confident that more often than not, you'll find better experience, better user interface, better gameplay, better odds, better values, and all around better time at Circa. They know for a fact you will never find better customer service anywhere else. Real people behind that Circa Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion should any arise, unlike other sportsbooks who use the dreaded chatbots. It's humans versus machines, and we refuse to lose. All aspects of that Circa app are being run by the same team that run their main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Be on the lookout for Circa's events, watch parties, and tailgates, just like the big old party they had with our CHGO crew up in Waukegan earlier today. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. Text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyourreallywinning.com.
Joey Spathers, what time is it?
Game time, Hoop.
You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all your sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you with Heller. Last minute deals, all in prices used from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying those tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, and even an hour after it starts. It is not the place. No. Shout out Sarah. It is the place. Bye, Sarah. It is the place to find last minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, hockey, comedy, theater, and so much more. Amazon deals. You pick the section, Game Time does the selecting for an average savings of, jump on my back,
Savings.
15%.
Oh my God, there's so many savings.
Oh, it hit him in the face. You can't see anymore. And the Game Time guarantee means you will always get the best price possible. So take the guesswork out of buying those tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code CHGO to get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use that code CHGO, get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Because we're the Go Guy Leave. Can you take some time out of your typing and tell me what time is it? You know, there it is.
Elvin in the comments said, Big Dave giving Dalen Terry starting vibes based on his reaction.
What?
Dalen Terry is not starting.
Oh.
He said that's your levels of excitement.
Don't play with me like that.
Like you thought that Dalen was getting a start tonight. No, the interesting thing.
I just like he said that it's interesting, and I'm always excited about that. That's all.
What's interesting is, so Kobe White, as expected from when you and your fellow Bulls beat were chatting with him at yesterday's practice, Will, said, things are looking good, feel good, assuming no hiccups in shoot-arounds, I'm going to play tomorrow night. That is the case. Kobe is a green light and will play, but will come off the bench.
Ooh.
6 Man of the Year candidacy starts now.
So it's the same starting five Billy's rolled with since Kobe's departure from that hip injury. You got Ayo and Caruso, DeMar, Torrey Craig, and Vooch. Kobe will come off the bench.
Interesting. Okay.
Have not seen anything about specifying a minutes restriction on Kobe tonight coming off the bench.
That's exactly where I went, because in the past when Billy has kind of dealt with reintegrating guys, whether it was Vooch and Zach when they first came back. If you guys recall, they came off the bench on a minutes restriction. He did this with Caruso for several months there at the start of the season, where he just feels like if you're a starter and you're playing, let's say 24 minutes a game on a minutes restriction, that's 4 6-minute segments, right? So if you start the game and you want to be in to close the half and to close the game, you're playing the first 6 minutes of the first quarter and the second 6 minutes of the second quarter.
Right.
And that's 12 minutes of game time in the middle where you're just getting cold on the bench. And so he wants to try to, make that as seamless as possible by getting guys in a little bit earlier, starting them on the bench, bringing them in a little bit earlier, getting them back off, and then bringing them back in. So it'll be, 2 segments of 6 minutes probably would be my guess, if not maybe a little bit more.
Do you feel any kind of way about that? Like guys starting or guys coming off the bench when
I've
when
never
they got the
been
green light?
Yeah, I've never been too concerned about it. I mean, I think at this point, like with the amount of minutes and just the load that Kobe's had this year, like they want to be careful, and I think that's smart. But if he's back, then they'll play him as much as the medical staff feels like he can. And I imagine he'll be in there to close both the first half and the game, assuming it's close.
Right on.
So good news that Kobe is back. Also good news, Caruso, who was on that injury report with a sprained ankle, was also a game-time decision. He is also active, obviously, in that starting lineup. Okay. Drummond, who had to go and get a tooth taken care of late after leaving late in the game on Monday, I assume is also good to go. I think Billy also clarified at yesterday's practice, Will, that it was not a tooth removal, but a tooth fixing procedure of some kind?
Tooth fixing procedure. We didn't get much more of a detail than that. I think his dentist is in Detroit still, so I think he had to go on a little trip.
Oh, interesting. Also, shout out to Drummond for retweeting a Andre Drummond experience video that we posted from our team account the other night on one of his many
Andre is
monster
definitely
dunks.
online.
I mean, you got to love it. And then, so shifting to the Rockets injury report, obviously we already touched on the fact that Sengun is out with that ankle, Cam Whitmore out with a sprained knee, and then their longer-term injuries that have been, certainly a bummer. I know you were really high on him in his draft class. Tari Eason had surgery on his tibia a while back, remains out, and the guy who carried Tony Bradley out the club, how he will always and forever be known as Bulls fans, Steven Adams, has been out all season, having had that knee surgery that he had to get right before season started.
Out of the club and out of my heart.
Yes.
My God.
So, as I mentioned, oh, by the way, so the Rocket starters tonight are Dylan Brooks, wannabe bad boy, fake tough guy.
Yeah.
Dylan the Bun.
Amen Thompson, the Rook, Jabari Smith Jr., Jalen Green, and Fred VanVleet. Still a very respectable starting five.
Yeah.
In their their last 10 games, they're 8-2. They are also a very strong team on their home floor, 23-11 at home compared to just 10-24 on the road. But I mean, when you take this 10-game sample size in which they have won 8 and lost 2, they have the 9th best offensive rating in the league at 116.6. They have the 5th best defensive rating in the league at 108.8. 4th best overall net rating in the NBA plus 7.8.
Wow.
And a big part of that is Jalen Green going freaking Super Saiyan.
Yes, man.
Because in those 10 games, Jalen Green is averaging 27 points and change on very impressive shooting splits, 48, 40, 83%.
Wow.
Also 6 boards, dishing out 3 assists.
10?
And here's the thing. He's shooting 40% from 3 on nearly 10 attempts a game.
Wow.
In this stretch of 10 games. Dude's cooking. Oh, by the way, tied his career high when he dropped 42 in their cruising to victory over the Wizards on Tuesday.
Oh, my goodness. That's a young team that makes you excited for that stuff. That's why Will likes them so much. This is why he talks about these kind of things, man. But Jalen Green, like, you just like when guys kind of find it and it starts to click for them. He credits the fact that, he's about to be a father, with it kind of, clicking for him. Whatever way gets you there, that's what's awesome. Hey, Julia, that's what's awesome and gets you to that point, man. But they are scary. That's the best way you can say it. And no team that is going for the playoffs or play-in or whatever wants to face a team like this right now. You know what I mean? Like, with these less games to go, you're running into veteran teams who are, a little bit tired, who are just kind of getting to the finish line and putting their all in. And these guys are playing with house money. Like, it's not a big deal if they make the play-in or not. It's really not. They want to, I'm sure.
And they've already made a huge stride from last season's win total to this one.
Correct. This is all
like
wins for them.
For a team like this, making the play-in is an accomplishment.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. This is a big deal for them. So if they get there, cool. If they don't, they can still hang their hat on this run that they've gone on and seeing what Jalen Green has done and wait for Sengun to get back. Like, that's a lot of upside. Reminds me of when the Magic started doing that kind of thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what it reminds me of. But it's really not a team you want to face at this point in time right now, Will, especially with these guys cooking like this.
You mentioned the Wizards, Matt. I wonder how many players have put up their career highs against the Wizards this year. It's got to be
that was the game where Io put up his, right?
Exactly. They are really
Shout
bad.
out Wizards.
And the Bulls,
Everyone except Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma.
Yes. Shout out Wizards. We got, what, 2 more games with them?
I think only one left.
twice more.
Two more?
2 more,
Twice
baby.
more.
What's up?
The race to 500.
Apparently
Let's
the Bulls
go.
are just going to go back and forth between playing the Knicks and Wizards for the rest of the season.
Pretty much.
They got 3
Pretty
left
much.
against the Knicks.
Yes, they do. Final game of the season against the Knicks. Noon. Be there.
Yippee.
It's at noon.
Hooray.
Yeah.
I'm excited
That's
for
what I'm
it
saying.
to be
It'll
game
over soon.
82.
Yeah. It'll be over soon.
After tonight, 12 more.
Look at his face.
I'm so freaking excited. And it better not be more than 14.
Please ruin this man's day.
Oh, my God.
Ruin his day.
I saw
Bulls.
people earlier on in the comments, right when we started pregame, talking about, the climb to 500. It's there tonight. It's there.
Chasing Ashland, man.
Jeff saying, "What's up, 500 Club?"
Hey, man. Chasing Ashland, I'm going to need you here, win or lose. Because you're going to have to take this.
Hey,
if they lose.
they're showing up if they win.
That's
Because
coming.
they will show up for my public admission
Correct.
of incorrectness.
Correct. But if
which are very rare.
incredibly. I mean, it's like, what, an eclipse?
That's because I'm very rarely wrong.
Yeah, it's like an eclipse every 10 years. But if they lose, you got to show up for it, man. You got to show up, bro. Win or lose, you got to show up.
I told you so parade.
Oh, my God.
Oh, won't it be glorious?
That's going to be insufferable.
I feel
watching
like
this game tonight.
I got my ride or die, sometimes 2, sometimes 4, but always 3 guy with me tonight.
He's here with the gray on. He's here, baby. He's ready to go.
So this Rockets offense, obviously the uptick in their defense is huge. Also, shout out to our guy Bulldog from over there at NBC, pointing out that the Rockets have the 2nd best defense against 3-point shooting this season. Limit their opponents as far as good looks from 3-point percentage, and we know the Bulls for years now have struggled in that department.
Years.
So that could be a key, but also something that I wanted to dive into a bit further from what Kevin O'Connor wrote about this new Sengun-less Rockets offense.
Mm-hmm.
Now that he's been out, Houston's most common lineup has been its new starting 5, the one that we're about to see tonight. So Amen Thompson, the rook, in place of Sengun, with Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., Van Vliet, and Brooks. In small sample size, 54 total minutes since Sengun's injury. That 5-man group in 54 minutes on the floor together is posting a absurd 138.4 offensive rating.
Oh my God.
138.4.
That's like 20 points per 100 possessions better than like the greatest offense of all time from last year.
For a full season. Yeah,
the
exactly.
Kings last year had the greatest offense of all time of 118.
34 is really
O'Connor added the defensive rating with that group of 5 since Sengun's injury, 120.4. So not a great defensive rating. He said, while the Rockets aren't getting a ton of stops with their switch-heavy scheme, they are playing fast with space and getting buckets at a blistering rate.
blisters.
KOC continued, the biggest beneficiary of Sengun's absence hasn't been Jalen Green, however. It's been the rookie Thompson, who's playing as Houston's de facto center even though he stands at just 6'7" and weighs 200 pounds.
Oh, this is Gottlieb's team, baby.
The Rockets have Thompson hanging around the dunker spot, looking for lobs and dump-off passes.
Yeah.
He has been directly involved in more actions, frequently screening for both Green and Fred VanVleet, and then rolling hard to the basket. I don't know how the Bulls defense is going to handle that tonight.
Well, I will say this. If it's one thing that Vooch does, it's dominate dudes that are smaller than him.
That's true.
He really plays well.
I'm guessing Vooch is going to get touches early and often in the paint tonight.
Yes, and it should be that way. So, yeah, Vooch might have a big game tonight. You guys be on the watch out for that. But on the other end is what Matt's talking about. What's it going to be like, because it's not like Gooch can really – Vooch, I call him Gooch. It's not like Vooch can really guard those kind of guys, you know what I'm saying, at that length. We've seen him struggle against those guys, As soon as they set that pick and those guys roll, alley-oops all day long is what they get. So I'm interested to see how that works. I know how it will look offensively, but defensively, how will Vooch come against that?
I'm also curious to see if they go to the too big lineup, which is something that Billy's moved away from, but it's a decent counter when you think about it offensively. The problem is, how do you now guard those guys with two centers out there instead of one? I think this is a really tough matchup for Vooch. Obviously, I think he'll do well in the post on the offensive end, but part of the benefit of playing small like this is that you are mobile.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think the Bulls can really struggle with. Even though Amen Thompson is not a shooter at this point, he can dive hard, he can roll, he's an incredible athlete. He might be like one of the top 5 or 10 best athletes in the NBA. He is that he has that much pop. So very curious to see what the Bulls do with him. Maybe Jabari Smith and Vooch match up together, but they're going to space you out. They're going to move the ball, and they're going to set a lot of screens and put Vooch in action. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the Bulls try to defend this. But I think maybe discussion for a larger, more time. But like this post up heavy offense, like I wonder if teams are just going to like let Vooch go to work in the post, because it has not been an efficient form of offense for the Bulls. They do it a lot, but the points per possession on those, it's not very good. So maybe teams will start to just let Vooch cook as much as you want, try to take away the open threes, and try to double DeMar if you have to, but like let Vooch kind of do his work and see if he can beat you in the post, which is going to be a tough task.
I think it was Mike in the comments who was asking, but who have they beaten? Referring to this Rockets 6-game winning streak coming into tonight, and there are some puff piece W's in there, including playing and beating the Wizards twice in 2 of their last 3 games. They also have wins over the Cavs, over the Kings, and then also Blazers and Spurs. So
in general during this stretch,
during the 6-game winning streak, they've beaten the Cavs, they've beaten the Kings.
Right.
They also have a win against Phoenix earlier this month. So yes, some of them are puff piece wins against Portland, Washington, San Antonio, but again, we've said it before, the Bulls can't take any team lightly this season. They just do not have, as Will likes to point out, the margin for error to do so.
No, you mentioned the defense. Like, they are okay on the year as a whole. I think they're 7th overall or something like that. They're top 4 since the last 2 weeks over this 6-game streak. So it's not like they have been giving up a lot of points of late, but they've locked it in too. And I think that defensive versatility and flexibility that they have when they're playing small allows them to try a couple of different things.
I wonder, somebody else was talking about, I think it was Stewart, saying like, man, I need, come on, Billy, it's the semifinals of my fantasy league this week. I need Kobe in his usual 46 minutes worth of stats. I am very curious to see how many minutes Kobe plays tonight. And then my guess is, unless, knock on wood, there's something where he re-aggravates his hip at some point tonight, but like, you got to assume he's closing. He might not start this game tonight, but you assume that he will be out there late in this game, assuming, which is a safe assumption, that it's a clutch game, because that's all that the Bulls play.
It's what they do. Yeah, even when they're up by 40, they kind of get into clutch games.
Is he going to come off the bench and still get his 40 minutes? Because that would be wild.
That's Billy. We've seen Caruso do it before, right?
Yeah.
Like it can happen that way, man. But if he gets 40, I think it just bodes well that he's feeling good. And he's had rest, which is exactly what this young man over here wanted him to do when he first got hurt. He was like, well, let him rest a couple games, man, and let him heal up and get ready. And not only just because of the injury, but because he was near the top of the league in minutes. So just give him some time to rest, relax, chill, recompose, come back against this Rockets, and let him go out there and just let him loose, because like you said, it's not that many games left, man. He's got to get out there and he's got to play. This team's got to get these wins. Joe, what are you smiling for?
Probably Texas doing something good?
No. I do want to ask, though.
Oh.
I want to ask all of you.
First bucket?
No.
Booch.
Official prediction, though. Do they do it? Does the climb end tonight? Do we scrape?
I'm saying yes. I'm saying Bulls
claw
win.
our way back to 500 tonight. Will's got a yes. I know Peck's got a no.
You
I'm gonna say
coward.
no. I said no earlier, so I'm gonna stick with what I said.
You don't see it?
I don't see it.
Are you trying to reverse psychology yourself and the
No,
Bulls into a win tonight?
No, I'm rooting for them to get it.
No, I know.
But I just don't feel like they'll get this because they struggle against the Rockets all the time, man. They really struggle against them. And these young athletic teams, man, especially this late in the season where the Bulls have all these minutes on their legs like this, and then not having Patrick Williams out there, not having the length to even combat some of these players like Jalen Green, man. It's going to be tough for Torrey Craig to go up against this kind of guy. So, yeah, man, I think it's going to be tough, bro. I'm rooting for it. Trust me, I am rooting for the Bulls to get to 500. Personally, I don't see it. You, Joe?
I like to balance it out. I'll go yes, assuming that Peck is going no. But
we already know where Peck is.
Do we?
Pencil him
Just
in.
a safe assumption.
You
that
damn
I'm
right it
predicting
is.
a Bulls loss tonight.
You damn right it's a safe assumption. Absolutely it is, sir.
Well, only
for the
because-
next 13 games.
Only because-
I'm not predicting a loss for the remaining 13 games of the season, but I am predicting a loss tonight because a win would mean 500.
Yes.
And this team can't do that.
chat.
Also,
I would love to be wrong.
Too funny. It's too funny. It amuses me. You know that I love nothing more than being right.
He does. Nothing.
And that's why I'm gonna just tell you right now, Bulls fans, I am rooting for an L tonight. Not just predicting, but rooting for.
Oh my goodness.
Because when I have given up emotionally as a Bulls fan on a season, all I have is being right about shit.
Hard to argue with that.
That's what it is. It is what it is.
Even when he hasn't.
If they do win tonight, those of you who will be, scheduling your parades down the streets of Chicago for getting back to 500
Something wrong with him,
in the
man.
middle of March,
How dare you be
I
happy?
will let y'all enjoy it.
Yeah, how dare you be happy?
Go enjoy.
Your team winning. You suck.
But if they don't, ooh, baby.
Oh man. Either way it goes, tune in for this post game.
Should I go to West Loop Mart and pick up a couple of bottles of champagne in preparation of what could happen?
No, grab some chips though.
Okay, well that's a different
Do they have
conversation.
party poppers?
Give me a
Do
Twix ice.
you still have some of your chips?
Oh, I know what I got in there.
for yourself.
And you're welcome to have some, sir, but you're gonna need some more. You know what I mean? You got the goat in the house.
I know. I was considering making a run anyways.
Didn't you say you were making one last time? You didn't even make it?
Yeah, I say a lot of stuff.
Thank you for joining pregame. Appreciate you, Bulls Nation, for hanging out. Hit that like button on your way out if you haven't done it yet. Dreads, by the way, predicting Bulls win 114-109.
All right,
Put a
let's
pin
do
in
it.
that.
Let's do it.
Gio saying 500 are back to 2 down.
Let's
Bring
go.
on
I'm with
500,
y'all.
baby.
I hope we win,
Stu
man.
predicting a Bulls win by 4.
All right.
Will is Will_Gottlieb. Big Dave Balby at WL Sports. Our fellow producer Joey is at Joyce Bathis. Follow him too. And his brother, who is a troll, named Troll Joe. Where is the account?
We share one
Okay.
because he doesn't have thumbs to tweet with.
You do need thumbs to tweet.
It's true.
You could just fit one finger poke at a time.
Yeah.
It'd take you
He
a
can
while
get there.
longer.
He can get
Inefficient.
there. Use his beak.
Bruno, no. Bruno, no.
Let's go Bulls?
No.
That's wrong? He can't say let's go Bulls?
Oh,
I see it. Okay.
the other
All right.
comment.
All right. I see. All right.
No.
I see it. All right.
We are CHGO_Bulls. Appreciate you for hanging out with us pregame. We will see you right here on this set in a few hours for postgame. Let's go.
Peace.